Hi everyone, we are on the CD meeting number 7 for NsJames, Joshua and Joey cannot join today, but he will try on the next 2 weeks. And we have NsJames with us. Thank you very much, Jonathan, to join. And we will start very straightforward, little update on the CDs first, and then other topics. So I begin. So I will have a meeting with Jesse next week about the row number 18 into the spreadsheet. That's the induction. And when it is done, the presentation to Jesse that we have validated together, I will contact Edenia, publish that into their smart contract, continue the technical things about the induction script. There are other things to say about this spreadsheet. We will come on that later on into this show. And that's all for me, basically what I am working on. And happy to see what we will discuss about this spreadsheet. So I give the mic to NsJames.
Okay, so there's been some interesting things happening inside of the Y discovery. There is the final question up now. After this one, there's actually going to be another payout. So go ahead and participate. This one's quite fun. It's a little bit more creative than the previous ones. You get to kind of visualize what Eden might be in the future and, you know, get the creative juices running. It's a little bit different than the previous 4. And there's been some interesting answers so far. Very nice to see. There's also been some decent engagement on the Miro board, which allows people to just kind of comment on what they think a common thread is for previous comments. There's going to be another Miro board like that soon after this final question closes. And then we'll be putting all of that stuff together. I did like to see that somebody actually took all the stuff into ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT what they thought about it. I thought that was pretty cool. It's an interesting way to go about it. Man after my heart.
Yeah.
So progress is going well there. That's really it on my side. We do want to talk about some of the stuff that we're doing with Edenia, but I think that we're going to get to that after, correct?
Absolutely, NsJames, totally. And nice job on the Y and the continuation. ChatGPT. Maybe Joshua will say something.
It was Joshua, right?
Are you here? You want to jump in and make? Yeah, that was Joshua. Yeah, you want to make your update, Joshua?
Sure. Yeah, that was me. That was pretty fun. I just basically put each question, all the responses, in one prompt, and then after I did that for the 3 questions, then I kind of prompted about everything, of all the responses to all the questions so far. I'll have to figure out.
It did a decent job.
Yeah, it did. It did a pretty good job. I'll probably redo it with different prompts. I'll share the prompts maybe on the board that I used. And I love this last question. The exercise has been so cool and worthwhile. But the trying to figure out what that why is has not been that fruitful. And I think ChatGPT's answer was almost right on point. Like we definitely know that we want it, but we can't agree on what it is yet.
Hey, so if the machines tell us that's what it is, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, I've been dropping some updates during the week in between our meetings in the chat about the things I'm working on. A lot of my focus has shifted into basically the outcome of the meeting that we had with Yves gave me a lot of answers and allowed me to kind of recalibrate my focus. So I'm trying to work with the beginning of what I'm calling kind of a new Genesis group that on behalf of each Eden, which is still in the early stages of formation. It's not going to be something that happens in this business quarter in terms of everything coming to fruition. But I think that the 4 language groups that are working on Edens, some of them have fractals, like there's a Spanish fractal in formation. The English community definitely has their fractal, and it has the name Eden and stuff. The language-based communities that are putting together DAOs, I would like to see them come together and propose a joint venture, which would still need to be accepted, of what we might do with the DAOs that we talked about in the meeting with Yves. And I think that could be a little bit of a hack for another, taking everything we're doing with the exercises for the Y approach, but maybe if if the leadership and delegates of the different eating groups can come together and create something bigger than all of them and agree on, what that is, then maybe that will put all of the communities in a better position to receive significant funding and maybe have a little bit of a better foundation than any of us have had starting out to this point. So I'll pause there, but that's mainly what I'm working on. If you see what I'm posting in the chat, you can get an idea.
Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, that's make very sense that you are building. Thank you very much for the update. And there is also Pomelo Season 5 that have just started, and we are, some of us, we are accepted. Myself, I was just accepted 2 days ago. I was in fear that I will not accepted again. And there is Luka here that is in waiting to be accepted because the Upvote Bot. We have something to share about that. Luka will jump in when the time exact time come. I will let maybe Jesse to do a little update CD Liaison 1 that you have maybe, Jesse, something to share with us here, as always.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, so the main things I'm working on is the check script for the SBTs that were distributed in the last election. So other businesses and projects could verify whether someone has gone through the Eden election in their application. From what I understand, this is being built by CDS5, and this is, you just need to call in action. So CDS5 is telling me that it's super simple, it's super lightweight. I'm not a developer, so I don't know exactly what that means, but all you have to do is call in action in order to gate some sort of resource to check if someone has the SBT. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that correctly, but the point is that you can verify whether someone has an SBT, or in the future that they don't have an SBT. So if we ever want to do some negative SBTs. So that's in testnet right now. The code is produced. It is in testnet, so we are in testing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm working on a dispute resolution proposal. I have some new thoughts on how to do it. I think I learned a lot in my last CD term. And so I'll be coming out with that a week or two before the election.
Thank you, Jesse. Maybe I will share the screen about this spreadsheet where all is mentioned. I share the screen now. Okay, so Jesse, when you mentioned your check the script SBT NFTs, that's the row 7, correct?
Yes, correct, row 7, correct.
Okay, project lead with Sashit, and the test with Jesse, and the validation by, I would say, by Jesse also. So other rows into this spreadsheet. And we have just received from Edenia, that's a little update. However, that Edgar is not joining. He has made a little update that the row 10, the election, disable video, he has made an update about that, stating, stating that this is delivered. It can't be tested in production until we have an election, but it was tested thoroughly in dev. So they have tested the disable video upload option when election is active. That means during round 1, during round 2, until that all is finished, you cannot put your video, you can put only the video when it is finished. And that has been tested into the Jungle 4 testnet, and they have all tested that in dev. So now he said that's delivered. That's why the delivery status is okay for that. Hey, nice. Okay, so, and also we have a row number 18, the induction script. As I said, meeting with Jesse next week. And when all is done, I contact Xavier and I integrate that. So that will be a technical meeting. But before that, I will have a little call with Jesse and Xavier to make some introduction, and then Jesse do his things, and I continue my technical things with Xavier. So maybe I will ask to Luka to jump in, because maybe you want to speak about the boat. I putted your comment, Luka, maybe if you want to join. Thank you. Hello, Luka.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. yeah, basically we added like two lines as a funding ideas. One is first was because we basically needed to make the bot more stable, to Dockerize it, to fix the bugs. There were a couple of bugs. There was Telegram can stop you from renaming groups and all that. So we were fixing that. This was the first line, and the second line was like proposed improvements to the bot. So if we reach those goals, and also upon request from Patrick, I basically added like another goal separate from this two, which was just for so reminders for video upload. And what will they do? So the reminders for video uploads were basically they'll first need to extend in our database basically who was in which group for up to 2 weeks, because there is a limit you need to upload in 2 weeks, right? And then you have like a different like time frames when you will get like a notification from the bot. So proposed timelines from now are I think like 1 week prior to ending, then 48 hours, 24 hours, and yeah, that's it. So three notifications that people should upload, and also it will check the action, and it will make sure that once somebody from your group is they did upload, it will not ask them again. So that's kind of like so we don't spam everybody, because we will, until at least one uploads, everybody will get like messages. So there will be like a lot of messages, and once somebody did, the messaging will stop. So from that perspective, we're trying to keep basically the spam at minimum, because otherwise people just like disable it. If, for instance, if they are not responsible for it, and they will still get the messages, that wouldn't work fine. Yeah, this is the base functionality, and that we will do for sure, because Patrick basically said that he will probably he will donate. So yeah, there's some additional ideas for the future development. For instance, one is to make a bot multi-language, and yeah, and the second one is to basically add like managing of Telegram groups. So for instance, like rotating of admins, it can be done by the bot. So then L1 delegates can get their tags based on that, on data from the chain. And also there's an issue right now, because we don't know who is in the group, who shouldn't be, and vice versa. Basically, who should be in the group and it isn't. So producing these lists, basically. So if we're talking about Eden community group, there is no way to quickly get a list of all the users that should be there, because they are basically users on the blockchain, on the Genesis. There are members there, but at the same time we supposedly have a lot of users that shouldn't be here as well. So it would be nice to at least get like a list and maybe check what's that about and so on.
Exactly, about the funds. If you are accepted on Pomelo, but I have no doubt with Upvote Bot that will be seen really as a public good, and that's not exclusive, and that's very inclusive, and that's help Eden On EOS.
All open source.
Generally speaking, maybe other communities also. It's all open source, exactly. Open sourcing the code together with already open sourced bot. And basically, you are asking about 4K into Pomelo to do the video upload reminder. I want that really, really, really. And that when you will be accepted, I will give you straight away some of my funds have 3.5K for this video upload reminder, basically for this line, and I am okay to do so. And for the other CDs, you have contacted them to ask them, maybe to NsJames, to Joshua, or maybe some discussion.
I will contact them once they approve the grant. The grant is up like more than 2 days now, so hopefully soon. So yeah, I will probably contact all other CDs.
You are in the queue, I am sure.
Yeah. There's a long queue.
I wanted to ask, what does it mean that users are there but shouldn't be there?
This means that they are members. That they are not members on the contract, right? So if they are not members on the contract, they shouldn't be in the Eden community group, supposedly. I mean, there might be like some small exceptions. For instance, when we are managing like new elections, right? We maybe invite somebody in, but then we should probably just throw them out as well. But outside of this, basically just producing the list. And then, because I do understand that we don't want just like ban everybody by the bot. We just want a list and see what's up with that.
I think there might also be an edge case there, because I ran into this when I was doing one of the payouts for the Y, is that some people have different Telegram names now.
Oh, that's not an edge case at all. That's like a common one, especially with people. Yeah. Especially with the people that didn't join the election. The ones that did, there was like 6 of them. For the older, I think that it's even more common, but I wasn't checking. So yeah, that's also the case. Basically, we basically need to have just a list and then decide. Do we basically force them to change the username back, or what do we do? Or do we kind of just for one thing, we probably shouldn't throw them out until there is like a functionality on Eden to change the handles, right?
Yeah.
Right. So until then, probably just lists is great. And then later it can also be automatized, basically just automatically if they didn't change. I don't know.
Very nice, Luka. Thank you for the update. I enjoy to continue and to follow the things about this row number 21 about the video upload reminder. The other rows maybe that we can discuss also. There was this idea of bullet point and do deterministic things with the bylaws, but make that simple. So this whole 16 is dashed, and to focus on the bylaws, just to be simple, to be our one chain timestamping or with IPFS. I discussed of that with NsJames. Maybe NsJames, you want to make a remark on that about the bylaws to be the most, let's say, easy and continue the road that we have at least those bylaws on chain and with just an IPFS hash and basically the things basic.
Well, I did see that there was a striking out of the item of making it deterministic, which I know that we went back and forth on that many times, trying to find a way to actually do that without having updates to the contract, which currently isn't really possible at the moment. But I think that us putting the guidelines, the community, well, it's not guidelines, the bylaws onto the chain isn't a hard thing to do. We can do that very, very quickly. We can just post it onto IPFS and then post the hash to the chain with the existing functionality. So maybe we should just bite the bullet and do that. There's nothing really stopping us from doing so.
Yeah, Xavier mentioned that into the Ravir mentioned that into the hands-on 4 to CD5. He stated that could be realized very quick with other bullets that are at row 19. Xavier is mentioning that there are a few bugs registered as GitHub issues that they would like to squash also, and they could also profit, let's say, do the things into the same time to put this bylaw on chain. That's not really the complicated thing. About the
What is
19 is
19?
just a comment, by the way, by
Oh, I
Xavier.
see it now.
Still.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Oh, that's the few bugs that there are. Yeah, that's a comment. That's a comment. So into this document, we have also the unclaimed funds. And that is something, because Edenia asked us what we would let them implement into this list. And this one, for example, the unclaiming funds was something very important in order that we see maybe the delegate level 1 funds coming back to the treasury if they are not claimed. So if Xavier or Edgar will join us on the next week, or maybe after, we will discuss more about that. Okay, so NsJames or Joshua, something else to add, and then we give the mic here to the people.
The only thing I'd like to add, and there's not really a lot of people here to chime in on it, but if anyone wants to chime in, is one of the things that I mentioned in my groups when I was elected was that I would like to see things done so that inactive members are purged from the membership, and technically doing that, and maybe even the bot can assist with that if changes are made to purge inactive members from the contract standpoint. The question is, what is the criteria to be purged? Is it the only expectation of membership is to show up to the elections? So how many elections are you allowed to not show up for before you're just no longer a member? You can rejoin, but we will purge you from the membership if you're just not participating after a certain amount of time. I think that would be the only point of contention.
I have a question. What is the value of purging members?
Well, what is the value of having dead weight?
Or ask another way, how does having dead weight hurt the organization?
To me, it makes it look unprofessional. It makes it look like you've got a bunch of members that are not actually really members, and they're expected to participate, but we don't care if they do. We just look like we don't have our shit together is what it looks like to me.
NsJames, a remark on that maybe about the purge of the inactive Eden members.
So I actually asked this question in one of our private groups. Is that it sounded very similar to me, or I made a remark, I guess.
Yeah.
It sounded very similar to me to something that was suggested very early on in the EOS network, which is that accounts that were inactive for, I guess, a couple of years would be their name, the account name would be given back to the pool. And I think along with that, there was some stipulations that the EOS would also be reclaimed into the, I guess, circulating supply, though I don't know how it was supposed to be handled. But it was met with a lot of pitchforky kind of behavior from the community. I'm not sure if this would be the same, though there is, of course, the question that you posed, which, what is the benefit of doing this? And I think there was a valid answer to that. I don't know if it would be met with the same kind of retort, simply because there's no monetary loss here. It would simply be a loss of membership that you could then re-register.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the final end goal for this would be, though. The same as you, Jesse. And is there some kind of compounded functionality that we're trying to get to, where perhaps you want to make sure that there's a threshold of active members? Let's say you wanted to be sure that the voting threshold, 2/3 plus 1, could be met. And if we have a lot of extra members, it's very much harder to reach that kind of threshold. Is there some kind of functionality that you're trying to build up towards?
I just want to make a point on that about the purge of inactive member. Let's say if it is made out like a kind of automatism on that, there is missing some, let's say, consent about that. There is needing some criteria before to just press the button and say purge the inactive members. Always to do some kinda of consent before that. So that's not so easy to make that. If we want to do that very deterministic and all, that's very subjective again, and we enter again into some kinda of who are we to purge the members, because maybe they will join later on, but yeah, after 2 years, I think we can say definitively,
it's pretty simple.
maybe okay,
We're supposed to be running an experiment, which means we're supposed to have hypothesis, and we're supposed to be like legitimately running an experiment. That's what the EOS network thinks that they've paid for. If you've followed the conversation since the beginning, they think that we're running an experiment, and we are, but we're just very sloppy about it. I'm not blaming anyone here for it, but like from a professional standpoint, we're not running a scientific or a business, caliber experiment. And that's what we should be doing, and we should have a bunch of mini experiments going on. So if that's what we're supposed to be doing based on the benefactor that has got us going and funded us and might potentially fund this or something like it again, when members sign up, it should probably be part of the expectation that, you're supposed to attend elections this amount of frequency. Otherwise, we can't test our experiment. And if you don't, then you just won't be a member. Like, no hard feelings. You can rejoin at a later time, but we expect you to do something. And so probably that pre-framing expectation needs to be improved when people onboard and they're agreeing to a bylaws or whatever treaty. That probably needs to be part of what they're agreeing to. And then if they don't do it, then we enforce whatever the rules of the organization are. Otherwise, there's just no purpose. There's no meaning. If we have bylaws but we don't follow them, then why even have the bylaws? What is the point?
Oh yeah, exactly. And also into the Telegram chat, if we have into the top of the chat written 400 member, and there is only 100 member that are participating, why not also to purge the Eden Telegram, by the way? So we have some housekeeping to do also before to do let's say on-chain housekeeping. So that's a very tough topic, I would say. And this is not even into the spreadsheet at the moment, but yeah, there was into our private chat with Edenia, you mentioned this purge, let's say, inactive purge of members, and we are just scratching the surface here. Okay, so maybe, as always, you are welcome to jump in here. First come, first serve with your doubt, your question. We are in the good momentum to do that.
Can I pose a question, or maybe more like opinion? The issue with the deleting of users, I basically agree with it. I think, for instance, deleting them for Telegram would be like a first step, right? Because they would just like kind of lose access. I would say that there is like one issue I see with deleting the members. Why? Because we are supposedly already have like two-tier membership. So first one is just you are just a member, and the second one is you will get a SBT, right? And once that SBT is not valid, you basically don't have it. So in a way, you are already like you are not a member. We can basically, what I'm saying is that we can basically just redefine what being a member means. So for my opinion, is being a member in table should actually mean that you are member candidate. And then if you get SBT, you are a real member. Until you have SBT, you are just not a real member. You're just like a candidate or something like that. So in that case, we basically don't need to change anything in the chain. We don't need to delete them. We can just leave them as candidates forever. And all we need to do is basically, for instance, if my bot will be deleting them, then instead of deleting them based off members, it should be deleting them based on SBTs, right? So if they have SBTs, they are allowed into the Telegram. Otherwise, they are not. Like something like this. So it can be the other way around. It's all I'm saying from technical perspective.
Thank you very much, Luka. So at the beginning, you are in the table of the smart contract, and then when there is the SBT, you are definitively considered as a, let's say, a member. That's what you are indeed stating, if I am not wrong.
Yes, and then once SBT basically expires, right? In a way, you are not a member anymore. So if you don't have one legit SBT, and you are collecting SBTs on elections, right? If you don't have one valid, then you basically forgo your membership, and you can be thrown out by, for instance, by a bot, or all other like services that are provided. They can check this SBT, see there is none, and just throw you out. So I don't think it needs to be changed. Just definitions, kind of.
Always good to define the roles of the things. That's what we are doing also into Eden Fractal parenthesis. By the way, we have the same, let's say, problems. Okay, jump in and make your voice heard here if you have some thoughts about what we discuss.
Yeah, I want to agree with what Luka's saying. I think what Luka's saying is very reasonable, and it seems like a less cost. So what Joshua was saying, the reason why I asked you those questions, Joshua, I just want to get your feedback, but I don't disagree. It's just my only thing is like, is it worth the cost to implement a new feature that would remove the members off chain that are inactive? I think Luka's solution requires a much less investment, and that's why I support what he's saying.
Use the food that we have and improve the process. It's all about that. We have all the tools indeed. We just need to use them for what they are, and without to create new implementation or new sub-processes. I think that's could benefit your idea about the purge of inactive member. I think the intent is good, but we have the tool. We have the SBT and we have the table of the smart contract. So we define just very well the stage when you are a candidate and when you are a real member.
Yeah, I appreciate the perspective on the SBT. I forgot that was coming into play, and that's probably the path of least resistance to just leverage that.
That's the open mic now. So let's jump in. First come, first serve. I have no popcorn. I know vodka. Sorry. But you can join. We can jump. Let's go. Dan Singjoy.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Nathan. Hey, everybody.
Okay. Dan Singjoy.
Enjoying listening. Hey.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, Patrick. I don't think I have anything in particular to say, but it's been a great conversation. So thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's a nice discussion. I am very happy to be here. I see NsJames burning. Okay, I will give to someone else here to jump in. Don't be shy, as always. I see Mo, I see Andrew, I see Mackenbird Sparrow, Marco.
I would be curious if maybe, I know Joshua shared a little bit about what he's doing, but if Joshua wants to share more about what he's doing with NDAO, I've had a chance to read some of his messages and some of his documents, the charter he's working on, and I've heard some of the updates, but if there's anything more that Joshua would like to share, then I'd be interested to hear it.
Sure. I'm going to be putting forth content and proposals.
That's the time for Joshua.
Sorry, Patrick, got delay again. Presentation material and stuff to kind of give a more concise picture than random Telegram messages and talking in these meetings and stuff. What I'm really trying to do is put out feeler and get buy-in and feedback, and a lot of that's happening in private messages, one-on-one with people, like all different kinds of stakeholders in the community. the stuff I'm talking about in the chat is this is me stewarding the direction where I'm sensing things need to go. This is me paying attention since before EOS ever existed to this point, and just trying to be strategic and trying to feel in intuitively to all the different stakeholders and what would be mutually beneficial at this junction in the journey. And so that's what I'm putting forth. But I'm getting feedback. I'm getting some collaboration, but it's not representative enough yet of. I'd like it to be representative of the community, and I'm doing kind of the heavy lifting and stewarding. I think I might need to create some kind of a process. I'm concerned it might be a time burden, but in addition to, like, for example, a private Telegram group or something, I'm thinking about starting like a weekly meeting to try to elicit more collaboration. But I'm thinking that I can help put groundwork in place this business quarter. And if there is enough buy-in and interest and momentum, then next business quarter would be trying to stand up this organization and position it for significant funding. But it would be like a proposal ultimately that is a request on behalf of a larger body of people than the English-speaking Eden members and just their chief delegates or something like that.
Awesome. Well,
Makes
that
sense.
sounds great. And thanks for explaining, Joshua. And I'm looking forward to following along. If you do want to host a meeting, I'd be happy to join. And I'm happy to help too. If there's anything to help, feel free to reach out. But I'm really excited what you're doing and looking forward to the progress. Thank you.
After what Dan was mentioning about the meetings, updates, and all, there is an Antelope Swiss workshop number 19 on the March 23rd. There will be Jesse Jaffe about an update of the bees. There will be Gabriel Shaw, Kamazote Finca. That's confirmed. It will be that will be released on March 23rd. There will be a Needle Fractal update number 5, and there will be an update about Eden on EOS. And the theme of the Antelope Swiss workshop number 19 is EOS Digital Extended Network. I have something to announce on March 23rd. I am in good progress on that. There was the Medium article, but there is not only the Medium article, there is really something behind, a platform to help us to collaborate about Antelope networks and EVM and all this stuff. So I am very happy to unveil that soon when all is ready. And I will do my best as always on those interviews, and I enjoy the updates. Someone else want to jump in? Mackenber Sparrow may be back of the flight. Maybe you want to jump in here, Marco? If not, that's the time for a song. Okay. Andrew, maybe.
Yeah, I have something that I
That's
wanted
the
to
moment of Andrew.
I don't know if this is really relevant to mention here, but one of the things that I was looking to do as a delegate was to essentially create an account that chief delegates could use for voting for block producers. However, I don't have the, like, technically speaking, I don't have the keys. I don't have the power to do that. So I'll probably just put it in the, there's a Telegram channel for it as well, for proposals. But just a heads up, I will be requesting that chief delegates create a new Eden account. I don't know if that's something that you guys are open to.
You mean like using the Eden namespace? We did that for the Spanish account. We did that for the Spanish Eden community several weeks ago.
Yeah, correct. I'm looking for like Eden.rex or something like that. I'll put it more precisely in the proposals section, but this is just me sort of giving you a heads up that I will be asking and sort of preempting the questions. So if you have any questions about it.
Oh,
Thank
goodbye.
you, Patrick. I've got some
Barry.
I have some household events happening right now. I'm waiting for a refrigerator, so I'm just tuning in, listening. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate the open door. Thank you.
Same here. Just listening
That was
in
nice.
and yeah, doing some work for EOS support.
Thank you. Let's go Eden on EOS. And thank you, Perry and Sebastian, to be very fidel here. Someone else.
So I'm moving countries.
Maybe on the next one.
Yeah, I won't be available next week, by the way. I'm moving countries with my family, and I gave it away.
Oh, that's a nice announcement. So I wish you already a good flight and a good move in the galaxy of EOS. We can maybe close, or if you have some question, I wait 10 seconds. I do a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go.
There is
Eden
no one that
on
wants to
EOS.
jump in. Incredible. That was not even the time to conclude.
Patrick, I'm using that audio clip for my movie script, casting you as the Dr. Evil. So thank you for that. That was wonderful.
I am mini-me. But I got you, Perry. Yeah. You like to be Dr. Evil. Myself, I am just Dr. Collaboration. Okay. What else? Cappuccino, popcorn, vodka, what I have. Okay, otherwise,
we're wrapped
we
up
make
for
that
today.
in chorus, guys, and be very Oh! Absolutely, Joshua. So, at 3, 2, 1, 0, what we say? We say, go Eden on EOS. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. Go Eden on EOS!
Go EOS!
Eden on EOS.
Go Eden on EOS.